What's up everyone, some guy here with another Alliance War video. Season 25, war number 1, first war of the season. We are versing against Space Bastards. I don't think we've faced them before, but going on to Path 5 here per usual. We are facing against Guillotine 2099 on Ebb and Flow Knockdown and Power Drain, I think. I will be using Doom for this fight. I'm trying to basically keep her knocked down just so her cloak doesn't trigger, so I don't have to worry about the cloak. So at the start of the fight, I did parry and heavy her just to get her cloak's cooldown going, and also to shut down the protection. And I am also trying to get into my Doom cycle, so that way I don't have to worry about much of anything. But yeah, it's a pretty simple fight for Dr. Doom. Oh, and I also have some greater champion boosts expiring in my overflow, so I'm going to be using those a lot, and they come very handy, especially these earlier fights where I usually don't boost that much. The big boost really helped get the fight down very quickly. The SB3 did a good amount of damage, and she's pretty much almost down from here. Just a few more hits and through my Doom cycle with the SB2 should finish, especially with the passive Fury and his actual Fury. So yeah, finished the fight in about a minute or so. Very easy fight. Alright, moving on to Hitmonkey on Ebb and Flow Knockdown and Heavy Hitter. Very common placement. Fought this monkey on this node many times. This is usually my ramp up fight for Guillotine as well. Since Hitmonkey has a fairly small health pool, so even with the protection up, it should still be a pretty easy fight for Guillotine 2099. I don't plan on using any of her heavies or SP1 or SP2. I think throw one SP3 just to manage Hitmonkey's power a little bit. I also do get clipped once from the last hit of his SP1. I think I was just too early, probably too eager to try and finish the fight, just because this is a pretty long fight. Usually the first fight, the ramp up fight for Guillotine takes a while. Luckily that hit didn't crit for some reason. I thought it would, but it didn't crit, so it didn't do that much damage. It only took about 4% damage. I was also pretty boosted from the greater champion boosts, so that helped a lot. But yeah, it's a very simple Guillotine fight. You just bait out his SP1s, fully evade it, and just punish him for it, and then just save your SP3 for the finale. Alright, moving on to section 2 here, we have this Mole Man on Kinetic Transference and Footloose. It's a very common placement. I think it's a pretty good placement for a Mole Man just because he's pretty annoying to fight in war, and he benefits from the Protect Global. I'm just going to be not throwing out only a health boost because I don't want to risk triggering Protect. Our teammate Nihilus was able to bring White Mag synergy and put a pre-fight on this, which makes any metal where hero champs parries becomes passive stuns. So that Mole Man cannot shrug off, so it makes the fight a lot easier. And Doom's heavy can just counter the Footloose mode, and from there on you just have to play pretty easily. Just don't get hit like that. Right there I did get clipped and mess up my stagger, so he did trigger Footloose here, but I just have to wait it out most of the time. His SP1 is pretty long. It does also push you to the corner pretty quickly, but I was trying to get into my SP3, but I was so worried about keeping up my stagger that I kept doing a lot of parry heavies, which gave him a lot of chance to throw his SP1s. Which is why I got pushed to the corner so quickly. But right here I was able to get to my SP3 and push into an SP2. I was trying to do the Doom cycle, but it didn't seem like I was pushing him to the SP3 for some reason. I don't know why. So I just threw the SP1 just because I was afraid that something wasn't going right. But I was spamming a lot of SP1s. Right there I almost thought about hitting into his block, but then I remembered he becomes unstoppable, so that would have been a really bad idea. But yeah, this fight I'm just gonna be doing mostly parry heavies just to keep the stagger up. I think I get lucky with that intercept there. Kind of a risky since he can't become unstoppable. But yeah, very I would say not the best fight, but he did get the job done. I am getting cornered here a little bit, which is not good, but luckily his SP1's very easy to evade even in the corner. I do have the SP3 in the back of my pocket if I ever need to get out of the corner, but right now I kind of am not too uncomfortable in the corner with it, so I just keep it in the corner and just try and push him to an SP2, but he just kept throwing his SP1s, which is okay, I guess. Alright, moving on to my path here, we have this Nova on Ebb and Flow Intercept and Sadist. This fight and the next fight, Killmonger, they were both not affected by Protect Global, so I was able to throw on my big boosts. They're expiring in the overflow anyway, so I thought I might as well throw them on. This fight should be very easy for Doom. As long as you get him in the Doom cycle, you don't even have to worry about intercepting or anything. Basically get Doom to a SP3 and then Nova to at least an SP2, and then just throw your SP3s, and coming out of it you will be able to do your Doom cycle and then do some reparries and get yourself back up to an SP3 and Nova stay in an SP2 and just repeat the cycle. I didn't have that good of a luck with the with this AI for some reason. A lot of times when I turtle myself up and just hold block, the AI won't throw their specials. But this time for some reason they just threw my well, this Nova just threw his SP right here, I think. Yeah, I was holding block the whole time, but he just threw his SP2 out of nowhere. I was hoping he would head into me so I could reparry him and just keep my get myself back up to an SP3, but it didn't happen, unfortunately, so I did lose that Fury, but that's okay. I could just keep going since I have a very good control of this fight with Doom. As long as you have Doom at an SP3 or an SP1, fight should be in pretty good hands. I think I try it again and he does the same thing, I believe. Basically do my Doom cycle and then use my SP1, try and get that reparry to get myself up to an SP3. I find myself usually just a little bit short of the SP3, so yeah, I'm trying to get him to throw his medium attacks, but he doesn't, and throw his special. Right there, I got clipped because I forgot his medium attacks cannot be parry stun. So I did parry it, but you can't stun him, so I had to actually parry the second hit, but I forgot about it, so I got hit a little bit. But Doom is pretty tanky, so he was able to tank the whole thing. But from here on, it should be a pretty smooth fight. Alright, moving on, we have this Killmonger on Ebb and Flow Intercept and Redouble Determination. I was a little bit worried about this fight just because I was not able to use any armor break champs against Killmonger, so I had to resort to Magik. I did throw on some Mystic boost and the Advanced Power boost just so I can get to Magik's SP2 faster. But usually once you're in Magik's SP2, the fight should be pretty much over. However, this fight, I did kind of forget that once the protection, so the Ebb and Flow Intercept, if you intercept, you get the passive Fury, but once the Fury goes away and the protection comes back, it purifies all of the opponent's debuffs, which includes Magik's Power Lock debuff. So that kind of slipped out of my mind. Luckily, in the beginning, I was able to just throw my SP2 right after the protection comes back, so it did not get purified. So right there, the protection restored the debuffs. So, but luckily, I'm close to an SP2, so I still have the fight under control here. It's I think the initial SP2, and you just have to watch out for when the protection comes back, since you will be doing a lot of intercepts. Well, that's what I plan on doing, a lot of intercepts, since Magik doesn't really hit that hard, so I try to intercept more to get some damage in, especially if there's a protection node and stuff. But yeah, the fight ended up going pretty well, better than I expected after I rewatched it, knowing that actually during the fight I wasn't aware why the power lock kept disappearing. I think I was just focusing on not getting hit and trying to get my intercepts in. But yeah, after coming out of the fight, I realized that the protection, whenever the protection comes back on, it was purifying my power lock debuffs. Towards the end here, it kind of almost got to me, but I was able to kind of turtle up and had him bait out his medium attacks, which worked out really well. Moving on to the mini boss island, we have this Hyperion on Rage, and some other nodes that I forget. Basically, a node where he'll gain power whenever you nullify. This fight, I almost butchered it. Luckily, I healed up Doom. I thought about just going in without healing up, but I was like, wait, no, this is a Season Warrior. I should make sure I heal up, top off all my champs just in case, even if I think it's a very easy fight. So this fight, my plan was to try and keep Hyperion staggered. But every time I do so or nullify, he gains actually a lot of power, more than I expected. And luckily in the beginning, he was very willing to throw his SP2s, because the power got kind of out of hand in the beginning. I was a little bit worried about it. So right here, I nullify his power gain buff, and he's still at an SP, very close to an SP3 right here. He's pretty much at an SP3, but luckily I had my 1 bar of power, and I was able to throw it and get the fight under control. I think I might have I didn't throw any combos when Doom is in his aura. I think that might have helped control the power a little bit more, just because the light attacks will power drain a bit. So right here, I was finally able to get to my SP3 and hype to an SP2. I threw my try and get to my Doom cycle here. And I think towards the end of the fight, I got a little impatient just because of the rage nodes. You only take off like 1% or so. So the fight was getting a little bit slower than I expected. I do decide to throw my SP2 in a bit, which is a huge mistake, you'll see. So right here is pretty good. I'm just getting to my SP3 and trying to push him to an SP2 to keep that Doom cycle going. I also don't want to chain the SP3s and build up too many Furies just because I don't want to trigger Protect. So yeah, right now it's going pretty well in my Doom cycle. Doing it pretty well. I think right here I decided to throw my SB2, which is a big mistake because it triggers Rage and a bunch of Furies and also triggered Protect. So right now I'm like, and he's almost going to an SB3 and I have no power, so I do decide to parry and hit him, and luckily I had the aura up, so I was able to steal some power and then get to my SB1, but I nullify all that Fury and then pushed him right up to an SB3 because of the node. I just threw my SB2 right away because I thought he was just gonna throw his SB3, but he didn't. I tried to chain my heavies here to get myself back to the SB1, but I was just short of it, and because of all the protection, he just wasn't taking any damage from any of my hits. So I had to get like an intercept in. I did take an SB3 to the face, but luckily I was boosted and health boosted, and I was able to hit the meter. My SB1 was able to intercept him, so it did take off 2 of his protection, which is good, and I was able to end the fight, barely soloing it. I did take the SB3 in the face. If he had those Furies and then he threw the SB3, I probably would have been dead. So yeah, very poor choice of throwing the SB2. Should have just been more patient. But we got the solo. So moving on to the next fight, we have this Sorcerer Supreme. I forget the nodes. It's just a bunch of power gain nodes, and then aspect of evolution. I'm gonna be using Magik again. I think in this fight, Sorcerer, I'm gonna speed this up since I'm basically doing parry 5-hit combo, parry 5-hit combo, get to my SP2, and then parry 5-hit combo. It's very simple Magik fight, pretty repetitive. I think she only got to an SP1 once throughout this fight. From there on, she will never get above a bar of power, just because Magik will just keep her in power lock mode and steal all the power. Very easy fight for Magik, very safe fight. I was dueling her just to see if I should intercept her with medium intercepts or like backtrack intercepts or light intercepts. I found that light intercepts sometimes can be kind of risky if she doesn't play into it. But after I get into fight, I realized I could just play it safe and just parry and 5-hit combo and parry 5-hit combo. It's not as I guess it's pretty boring, but it is a lot safer, and you do get the solo, so which is what we want. All right, and finally at the Apocalypse boss here, taking Apocalypse boss many times last season, so I was very comfortable going in. I still have the advanced power boost from the Magik fight, which is nice. That way I'm able to get to my SP2 sooner and should be able to end the fight faster this way. Just getting some light intercepts in. Guillotine's light intercepts are very far reach, so you're able to light intercept pretty safely most of the time. So I was able to get to my SP2 and then push him, Apocalypse, to an SP2 as well. I'm very comfortable with fully evading his SP2. Maybe not in the corner, but out here it's pretty simple. I pretty much have it down. My plan is just to get Apocalypse to an SP2 and then just keep baiting those out, and then turtle myself up and finish my combo early whenever he's at an SP1 or above an SP1 and below an SP2. But yeah, it's a pretty simple fight for Guillotine. She makes the fight very easy. Got a very risky intercept over there. He had a bar of power, but I still charged into him. I just saw it and I just felt it, and luckily it worked out. Spacing was a little bit off on the SP2 evade here, but it kind of worked out in the end. But I think this is probably one of my best Apocalypse solo. I just based it on how much health I have left. And this one is probably one of my highest health at 90% and finishing the fight. So yeah, that is it for me from this war. Unfortunately, we do end up taking the L for this war. I think we lost by only about 4 attack bonuses, so very, very close war. Not the best start of the season, but hopefully we're able to shake the rust off from the off season and get right back into it. But yeah, that'll be it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.